There's only one word to describe TNA Rebellion last night, and that word is terrific. Uh, Once again, TNA has put on back-to-back great pay-per-views this month. Well, not just great, but amazing pay-per-views. It's two things that kept this from being a perfect pay-per-view. If these two things would have changed, I think it could have been perfect. But let's get right into it. And TNA, they always put on a solid kickoff show. Like they have at least one or two matches on the kickoff show. At least one, sometimes they do two. For Rebellion, they had two matches on the kickoff show. The first match was Fatal Influence versus Brookside, Lee Ching Lee, and Rosemary. This was a fun six-woman tag team match. I enjoyed it. It was a great way to get the show started. Well, not the main show, but as people was getting in, stuff like that, tuning into the event. So this match was good, but there was one problem I had with it, and this kind of been a problem with this story because I thought they were going somewhere with it, but Fatal Influence beating Team TNA and Desire Brookside taking the pin, I felt like that was stupid because when the match first started, you had Zia Lee being more aggressive. You had her, Lee Ching Lee, and Rosemary attacking Fatal Influence before the bell could ring. So it's like, okay, you see a more aggressive side of Zia Brookside led behind Rosemary because she wants her, because she can't just, if she's trying to be the nice one trying to get wins the right way, she probably isn't winning. That's why she lost the match to Savannah Evans not too long ago, because she was injured and she wouldn't take advantage of it. But she can't, if she's injured, she got to take advantage of that. That's why she lost that match to Savannah Evans. That's why this stuff, that's why this story with Rosemary makes a lot of sense, because Rosemary could be the one to help her to unlock the more aggressive side of her. And they started that during the match. They even did it throughout the match when Fatal Influence tried to get involved when Lee Ching Lee had, I forgot who she had on in the corner, with Zara Brookside. She went in there and clothesline two people, and I forgot who, but I think it was Fountain Hill who was in the corner, if I'm not mistaken. And she clotheslined JC Jane and Jasmine Nix in the ring to stop them from attacking Lei Ching Lee. So, and then towards the end of the match, Rosemary handed Zara Brookside brass knuckles, but then the ref ended up seeing it, so she didn't use it. And Rosemary she distracted the ref for long enough for Zara Brookside to use it, but she didn't. And I guess you got to build it up more, but I guess they want to build it up more, but I don't think you need to. She's been a baby face for long enough. You can start doing that now. You can have, when the ref not looking, have her use the brass knuckles, tap into that darker side, because it's somewhere there. They're going to build it for a little bit longer, and it'll probably be displayed once they have a one-on-one match, because they'll definitely have a match against each other, but I was rocking with the story, but I don't think they should have lost this match to Fatal Influence, and then Zara Brookside had to take the pin. Like, I don't think this doesn't do anything, especially for the partnership with them. Like, Fatal Influence didn't need this win. It's been cracks and Fatal Influence on TNA, on NXT, so them getting this win over TNA would not solve their problems. They had to get wins on NXT for that to really matter. They didn't have to win this match, because they likely won't talk about this on NXT, even though they had a partnership. They'll probably brag about their win, but those cracks just don't disappear because they win one match. So hopefully they keep playing into that story, because it has been cracks recently with Fatal Influence. Good match, but it had the wrong winner, in my opinion. I think Zara Brookside should have used brass knuckles, even if it ended in a DQ. I think that would have been better, and it would have told a better story, because maybe she gets upset that she lost the match, but she understands she got to tap into that darker side. Then the next match, you had Elijah's open challenge, the Walk with Elijah open challenge, and Shane Haste from New Japan Pro accepted the challenge, which I wasn't expecting. This was a good match. There was some solid action throughout it, and Elijah ended up getting the win, as he should. Elijah wasn't losing that match no matter who accepted it. I was kind of hoping it was somebody from the main roster on WWE, like Chad Gable or something like that, because I think that would have been fun. But Shane Haste, still was a good choice, and they put on a solid match. In the first match of the main show, the best match of the night, one of the top matches of the year, and it's gonna be up there for one of the top matches of the year. The Ultimate X match with Moose, Leon Slater, Sidney Akeem, Casey Navarre, Vikingo, and Matt Cardona. And this match was amazing. From start to finish, it was high action. Vikingo hit a destroyer on Sidney Akeem, which was a really cool moment. You had Casey Navarre was also in this match. I don't know if I said his name, but he had a spot where Leon Slater, he jumped off the top of the thing onto everybody before going for the title. And then when Leon Slater did go for the title, he came down with it, but he got speeded as he was coming down, so his feet never touched the ground with the X Division Championship. And Moose picked it up, and Moose would retain retain the X Division Championship. I do think, now this didn't ruin the night for me because I thought either Moose retains or Leon Slater wins. I wanted Leon Slater to win. I had no problem with Moose retaining, but what Moose did later in the night, or what they made him do, kind of threw me off with the whole system story. But a fun match. It was some great spots in this. This is definitely a match I'll watch back later down the year. Definitely one of the top matches of the year. It was some fun spots. It was cool. Like really, anybody in this match had a chance. Like it felt realistic. Well, aside from Matt Cardona and Vikingo, all the other guys, it felt like it's realistic for them to win. Like if Casey Navarro would have won, I wouldn't have been shocked. The Leon Slater, Sidney Akeem, like those wouldn't have been shocking moments. But Vikingo, he was in there to do some cool spots, and he was able to do that. Matt Cardona was kind of just there. Matt Cardona didn't really have any memorable spots or anything in the match, but it didn't take away from it. Sometimes you just need a guy to just be there, and he was that. And we know, and Matt Cardona, he's done stuff in the past before that we know is great. So him just being a fill in this match, it's no problem with that. Then the TNA Knockouts Champions Tag Team Fatal 4-Way match for the Knockouts Tag titles between the Elegance brand versus Spitfire versus Chemical X versus the Meta Girls. This was a good match. This was a fun one. I wanted one of the NXT teams to win. That didn't happen, but luckily neither one of them had to take a pin. So all those four women, Lash Legend, Jakar Jackson, and Gigi Dolan, and Tatum Paxley, them four, none of them were the ones to take the pin in this match. And the Elegance brand did retain by pinning Spitfire, so that's fine. It's good for the story. You have three teams fighting for the tag titles. They all deserve a shot. They all have reason to go after the titles. You put them in a fatal 4-way tag team match. The Elegance brand wins to prove that they're dominant. It wasn't much interference. I mean, I don't think it was much interference, if I remember correctly, throughout this match. And the Elegance brand ended up getting a good tag team win. That's definitely going to help them. Now, what they do next, I'm interested in, because Spitfire can't get another chance at the title. Maybe the Meta Girls, maybe Chemical X can be the next two opponents, but they likely won't lose to either one of them. If they did, it'd be cool to see the NXT team win the TNA titles. I think that'd be fine. But moving on to the next match, Ace Austin and the Rascals with Sean Waltman in their corner taking on the System. And Moose had to fill in for JDC because he wasn't able to make it. I forgot the reason they said, but he wasn't able to make it. So I think it was travel issues or something like that. But Moose had to fill in, and then it was him, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers teaming up to take on the Rascals and Ace Austin. This was a good match. Alyssa Edwards, she got involved. The Sean Waltman being in the Rascals and Ace Austin corner, that was great. Obviously, Trey Miguel going into the match with an injury. What I didn't get is how it ended, because the match was good. Once again, this was another good match, but the way it ended is what threw me off and why I didn't like it. It's Moose was the one to take the pin, and he got pinned by Zachary Wentz. After going through a hard Ultimate X match, I understand that he's the weaker one, but he's still the champion of the group. So either Eddie Edwards or Brian Myers need to take the pin, and really it should have been Eddie Edwards, because he's playing this whole role where he's trying to get things back together. But if the System want to prove how dominant they are, then Moose should win the Ultimate X match, and he should pin Zachary Wentz in the match, or pin Ace Austin, and he's the one that's the singles guy now. But since Chris Bay is injured, prayers up to Chris Bay. But Moose, he shouldn't have went 1-1 in this night. He should have went 2-0. And if the System were gonna lose, Eddie Edwards should have lost, because it plays better into the story instead of Moose taking the loss, because he already won, and then he's taking the loss while being injured. Well, not being injured, but he went through a lot of physical pain earlier in the night. So I didn't like that. The match was good, but I didn't like him taking the pin. You had Steve Maclin versus Eric Young for the international championship. This was a good match. Obviously, the Northern Army, they got involved. They tried to attack Steve Maclin early on. To no prevail, weren't able to do anything. And Steve Maclin would end up winning the match. He won clean. It was really no shenanigans. Well, aside from the Northern Army, those were really the only shenanigans, because the main shenanigans came after the match. After Eric Young lost, he was obviously pissed off, so he attacked him. with the change. The Northern Army attacked them, and they tried to take out Steve Macklin. Eric Young held up the international title, so I guess he's going to go after it again. Steve Macklin has no backup. I don't know who would want to back him up when you have somebody as dangerous as Eric Young leading the Northern Army. So it's going to be fun to see what they do with that. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do, what tag team they can find to team up with to help Steve Macklin, or maybe he just goes in on his own and eventually he's forced to join Eric Young because of the tournament that he puts him through. I could definitely see them telling that story. You have Mike Santana versus Mustafa Ali in a no disqualifications match. Mike Santana, he had a move to Tasha Steelz through a table. I forgot the move, but that was a cool spot because Tasha Steelz, she obviously got involved. The great hands, he handcuffed them to the ropes, so because they tried to handcuff him and give Ali the advantage, but Mike Santana wasn't going for that. Santana and Ali, they fought around the crowd. Excuse me, they fought all over the place, and it would end with Mike Santana getting the win in a fun match. Like, they was going into a 1-on-4, he ended up getting the win. It was fun. I kind of wish that Ali didn't look bad. Like, both guys looked good in the match, but I thought Ali was going to win the match. But they can still both be in the title picture for the International Championship or the X Division Championship. Probably International. I see them being those type of guys in the International Championship picture, both of them. Like, even if you don't want to end this now, you want to have them do 2 more matches and make it a best of 5 to determine who challenges for the International Championship, or do a tournament where they meet and whoever wins goes for the International Championship. Both of these guys have great chemistry. The feud was a lot better than what I was like a month ago when I was looking at it. It's a lot better now. Like, after giving it some time and see how it's played out so far, I see what happens on Impact we see what happens on Impact this week. But the way I'm letting it play out, I'm enjoying this feud right now. Probably this may be the end of it. They could run it back in the future, but if this is how it ends for now, that's a good ending. Then you can revisit it down the line when one of them has a championship or something, and make that one of their first title defenses. And before I get into the 3 biggest matches of the show, I do want to talk about Indy Hartwell crossing the line. And obviously, she's been doing stuff in Memphis Wrestling lately. She was not at the Memphis Wrestling show that I was able to go to, but she has been doing stuff in Memphis Wrestling lately. And she was at Tna Rebellion. She has crossed the line. So I don't know if hopefully she'll be on Impact this Thursday. And then she can do some stuff. Like, she could be a good opponent for Masha Slamovich, or well, I guess I gave away who won that match, but she could be a good opponent for Masha Slamovich. You can even she can even do some stuff with somebody like Azar Brookside, who might need the help to be able to elevate and stuff like that. Because I don't think she's on a contract, but she can make appearances here and there, do some one-off matches, do some one-off feuds, like her and Masha Slamovich, her and Tessa Blanchard. Even though her and Masha would be a face versus face, they can make it work. Her versus Tessa Blanchard, that'll be a cool match. So she can do some stuff now, knowing that she's had some connections with TNA, and maybe she works her way back to WWE, because it did suck that she got released. I didn't think she should have been released from WWE, but it's good to see her still wrestling, because I've been seeing some of her matches on her YouTube channel that she posts, so she's still doing her thing. But yeah, now with that being said, let's get into the most surprising match of the night, which was Masha Slamovich versus Tessa Blanchard. When I say most surprising for this match, I think everybody thought Tessa Blanchard was winning this match, because going into it, she had a lot of momentum. TNA had been pushing her. She's winning matches quickly. She's having matches against jobbers and stuff. She's pinning. I mean, nobody from NXT liked her, even though she came with them and still getting the wins. So it was like, and she even pinned Masha in the championship, in the 6-woman tag team match. And it was like they've been building her up since her comeback, and obviously Masha, she's been great. She's had a good run as TNA Knockouts champion. But this match was really good. I enjoyed it. I didn't have any problem with this match, really. Had a few moments with Tessa getting in the ref's face. And Masha Slamovich, before the match even started, she got on the attack instantly. She wasn't waiting for the bell to ring. So that Masha Slamovich ended up retaining the Knockouts championship, which was a surprise to me. Now, I don't know where Tessa Blanchard goes from here. Glad that she didn't win it. But I don't know what's next for Tessa Blanchard now. With Masha, I think there's some stuff they could do in the women's division. Maybe you have Zara Brookside go after the title and Rosemary Coster because she didn't. Or you have Zara just lose clean and Rosemary is just jealous because of that darker side she won't tap into, which she needs to if she wants to win. Maybe you tell that story. Maybe you have somebody from NXT come over and challenge again. Maybe you do get Roxanne Perez, give her some run at TNA for a little bit. Do something like that. It's definitely some stuff they can do with Masha Slamovich. So we're going to have to see how that develops. Savannah Evans on. Did Masha beat her already? But those are just a few options that I was thinking of. And then the next match of this quarter, the next match was the Nemeth brothers versus the Hardys. Obviously, the Nemeths, they left the Hardy compound with the tag team championships. So they walked into the building with the tag team titles, and then the Hardys still quickly get them back, was snatching them from the Nemeth brothers, making them run out the ring. And then this tag team match was good. Ryan did some solid stuff. The Hardy Boys. It was multiple twists of fate in this match, but Ryan did a good job breaking up pins, making tags at the right time. And he even made the tag late in. Well, it was a spot where Jeff, I think he had got a chair, and he was going to do something to Ryan, but Ryan reversed it and sent Jeff into the chair, and it's like his spine, it hit the top of the chair. And then Nick, he hit a low blow to Matt, and that's basically how the match was won, because Ryan then tagged in Nick to get the win, and they ended up winning the tag team titles. So the Nemeth brothers are the new TNA tag team champions, and it was a good match. But Ryan tagging in Nick to get the pin is really telling, because in the past when he would tag him in, it would lead to a loss. Now it leads to a win. Nick might not be as upset, but this reign will probably be 4 or 5 months, and then Nick could turn on Ryan eventually because he gets tired of him. He gets fed up with him, always taking credit for the work that he's did. So I can see that, because they're definitely going to have a match against each other. Who wins, I don't know, but they're definitely going to have a match against each other. I don't think the Hardy Boys get a rematch. I mean, they could, but I think it's time. You have Primo and Epico, or the Colognes, as you want to call them. You could do them. It's heel versus heel, but it can work. Like, you can do heel versus heel, face versus face from time to time. And TNA hasn't done it lately, so I think that could work. I'm trying to think of some other tag teams. The Hardys probably will get a rematch. You could do OTM from NXT. Maybe they get a match for the tag titles. So we'll see where that goes. Then you had the main event match with Joe Hendry, All Ego, Ethan Page, and Frankie Kazarian. I hate that this is how Frankie cashed in the Call Your Shot gauntlet, and he wasn't the one to take the pin, which really threw me off. But man, this was a good triple threat match. This was a good main event. Don't think it was the best match, but it doesn't make it bad. It was definitely a good main event. Definitely worthy of the main event spot. With Joe Hendry going into the match with the rotator cuff injury, with Ethan Page, him already having a win over Joe Hendry, with Frankie never winning the TNA World Championship. This only a 6th shot at the TNA World Championship, and he's been there for a while. So he's definitely been there over a decade, maybe 2, if I'm not mistaken. So you had the story, had a good match. I don't think Frankie should have cashed in here. He could have cashed in after the match and pinned Joe Hendry to become the new TNA champion. But Joe would pin All Ego just to get his win back, even though you could have did that with a one-on-one match. You could have had him pin him in a one-on-one match to make that happen. But they didn't even use Frankie as the fall guy, so I guess Frankie could still get another shot at the title. But Joe did retain. He had no problems with this match. It was a good main event. I enjoyed it. Joe Hendry ends up getting the win. He retains the TNA World Championship. He should lose it to Elijah, in my opinion. I think that would make the most sense. But Rebellion, I give it a 9 out of 10. The only 2 things I had a problem with is Moose taking the pin in that 6-man tag team match, and Team TNA with Zara Brookside, Lee Ching Lee, and Rosemary losing to Fatal Influence. The only 2 problems I had with the show, because overall it was a great night. Every match was good. It wasn't a bad match. And the Indy Hartwell thing, that was a really cool moment. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment if y'all saw Rebellion, what you enjoyed about it, what you didn't enjoy.